We can't put any of that.
No,
Danger.
of course
It's
not.
so politically incorrect.
Of course not. That would be awful. Oh, that was true.
Yep. Today we had the update for the Tower of Nightmares. And within it we got a new skill called the Antitoxin Healing Spray.
Yes, we did.
It's available for 25 skill points, or you can go pay 5 gold and 250 blooms, plus the 50 you need to open the merchant in the first place. Which sounds really tedious to do and costs actual money.
And you said, didn't they
Yeah.
post it on, didn't they post saying that that was the cheaper way to go? And then I know you had a problem with them saying that.
I think they might have said it was the easier way to go, but
Who doesn't have an extra 25 skill points laying around?
yeah.
Everyone does.
I mean, even if you're leveling up, it's easier to get 25 skill points than it is to get 5 gold on your first character. Normally, if you've got another character, then you'll have generally more skill points available from all of the champion chests.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. How many scrolls do you have saved up now?
500? Over 500?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. I've just been saving them because of what this new skill means. Because earlier on in the year, they said that they were going to be bringing in new skills into the game. And this is the first of these new skills. It's not the best, but it does mean that they are keeping to the word and bringing in new skills. So I've got those skill points saved up in my bank, ready to go on any characters I need to get any skills that I want, depending on how much they cost. What do you actually think of the healing skill in itself, though, that was introduced in this patch?
I guess I have mixed opinions about it, because one, I'd like to say that in a way it forces you to take the heal because of the current content, and I think as like Guild Wars 2's philosophy of just diversity, I mean that's where you get a lot of the end game gameplay is making your builds and things like that. I don't know how I feel about being forced to pick something just because it suits the current content. And then at the same time, you have to think, well, are they going to be introducing this toxin, the toxin? What is it called? Toxin, pollen toxin. Toxic pollen. Are they going to be introducing that as a new condition, or what's going to happen to the heal after the content is done? Because right now it's clearly underwhelming. The heal isn't nearly as high as it should be for the cooldown anyway. But I mean, it does remove the conditions. But again, if toxic pollen isn't a condition in the game, then that's just it's not as good anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, do you think they'll just remove that from the tooltip, that it doesn't remove toxic pollen, or what do you think they would do with that whole toxic pollen thing in the future of this healing skill?
Well, I'd imagine that we will keep encountering the new bad guys in the patch. So I think they'll just keep it as it is.
So then, what do you think about that? If they do more living stories, then it's like, okay, it's this living story, toxic pollen's here, so I have to bring this heal. Well, how do you feel about being cornered into picking a certain heal because the content asks for it?
I don't know. Do we actually need the heal for it, for the content?
I thought we would. I don't know.
Is it actually cleansable by other condition removals?
I'm not sure. The only toxic pollen I ran into was by the tower when I was getting the obelisk shard. So I haven't really had ran into it that much. So I don't know. Do kind of regular condition cleanses remove it?
It's one thing we can find out.
Yeah, that's if you guys know, comment below, because that's not something we've actually researched. Actually, it's not even something I even thought about until just now.
Because if you can cleanse the toxic pollen on its own, then you might as well just not even bother with the healing skill. Stick with the normal waiver and bring their own condition cleanses. And
so then it brings in the argument that why bring in this healing skill if no one's even going to use it?
this is true.
Don't you think overall it's if you compared it to the other healing skills, when you're not paying attention to the toxic pollen on the tooltip, I mean, compared to other healing skills, I don't see why I would take that so much over other ones. I'm not a huge fan of putting specific conditions on skills. You know, I mean, it cleanses this condition and this condition. I just wish it would cleanse, 2 conditions or 3 conditions. But what's that?
I think as a whole, if you were in a dungeon and all used it, like you had your whole group going running it, then I can kind of see a use for it because it is AoE. So while it's not that much on its own, if you did have 5 people going at it, if the healing component does affect your nearby allies, which it does say, use antitoxins to heal yourself and nearby allies. So assuming it does, then hopefully it actually you can get some use out of it that way, and add a new gameplay element into the group of healing each other up via your healing skill, which you can really only do at the moment with the Guardian, using the healing breath thing, which I hate. Healing breeze, hate it. I think it sucks.
Yeah,
but that's another thing. Yeah,
I think we talked about that in the Guardian video.
We did.
What do you think of the conditions that they chose? Poison, torment, and confusion.
Makes sense. It's the ones that the crate use at the moment, and yeah, so they'll slap those on there. Just it's definitely hinting at, okay, for this instance, you guys are gonna have to use it when this comes out. You guys should use it. It also depends on how they tackle the tower itself. They might make it just like a big open world thing where you climb up it and then you beat the crap out of things with the entire Zerg, which in that case then just say screw the healing skill, I'll just take care of myself. In the Zerg generally, yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah, I think that's how everybody rolls. I certainly hope that's not the case. I want a dungeon in this one. I mean, it's such a great setup to a dungeon. It would be a big shame if it was just like a Zerg fest up top.
I just have this thing with the every time the living story does come out, it always seems like they're trying to introduce like something you think something else would be coming in that isn't in there. Like I thought with this one, okay, the Tower of Nightmares, we're gonna have an instance that we're gonna fight in, but no, we don't actually have that at the moment. But it kind of like the whole theme of it sounded like this is what we're gonna be doing for this story, which I do wish they would convey these things a little bit better in the previews and stuff.
The past couple, when you think about it, have just seemed a little underwhelming. Like,
yeah, something always seems missing from them.
It seems like a build-up, doesn't it? But they have, from what they said, they have the teams working on each one of these for 2 months now. Like, well, why do you need these build-ups in the 2-week living story anymore? I mean, you had the Crown Pavilion, which you had a crap load of things to do, and even the what is it called, Labyrinthine Cliffs with the airship. You had so many things to do. You had no build-up to those. So
when
we're
was
seeing a lot of
the Crown Pavilion?
August, I think. It was a couple months ago by now.
How many living story patches ago was that? We've been at it for quite some time now.
3, maybe,
3.
or maybe 4. If you count Halloween, I guess, or I guess if you count this one, it's probably up to 4. So you had the Scarlet one, and then you had the Scarlet Dungeon, then you had Halloween, and now this one. Is that right?
I think so. I guess the
we're digressing a bit, but anyway.
I guess yeah, those videos that they do put out for them, I think they just need to be more, give you more. They're a bit, they don't really tell you much at all of anything.
Well, what do you have to do in this patch really, other than hunt down the obelisks?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Kill a couple of great guys that were there.
So that's the living story quality I would have expected with the Flame of Frost or with even the South Sun, where it's like build up, over time you're building up the story. But before or a little after that, then you're getting these huge living story patches. Now it's almost like they're breaking up again into smaller pieces.
They did say that it was the prelude. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We're actually getting way off track here. So yeah, new skills in the game.
New skills.
Hopefully we do get them, and yeah, I definitely would love to see them. We've been in here for over a year now in Guild Wars 2, and it's definitely time for them to start coming out with some actual new abilities and things. Mix things up a bit.
They definitely need to get all the old abilities working properly before they start adding more in, I think. But if you look at the patch notes, they're definitely doing that. A lot of the skills are working the way they should be now. Then you start thinking about adding in more skills. But yeah, they need like, to give each class like 10 more skills or something, just it'll really open up the meta and just gives a lot more diversity, I think.
So everyone out there, tell us what you think about the new healing skill. What kind of skills you would like to see in the future, and yeah, probably throw in what do you guys think about this current patch that just came out as well. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. This is me, Saris, and I'll let Burden say goodbye for himself. Bird?
I'm Burden. Goodbye.
There you go. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.